I'm John McFadden, political reporter for News North. I'm here today with Green Party candidate John Moore, running in the federal election. Welcome to Yellowknife, John. I know you live in Inuvik. You don't have quite the exposure in the Northwest Territories as your competing candidates. You're a relative newcomer, so introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are and where you've come from, please.
Yeah, well, John, I came up here from the East Coast, from St. Francis Xavier University, and I came to Inuvik because a good friend of mine had been going there for a number of years. He decided against coming up with me this year. However, you know, once you get into the north, it just sucks you in. You end up staying for a while. I'm a community-motivated guy, and have since been able to join the fire department and ground search and rescue up in Inuvik. And there was a hand extended to me by the Green Party, and that was really interesting, because it was something I did not expect in the least. In terms of where I come from in this debate, or in this discussion, more than anything, it's to give a voice to the North. I think that when we look at Northern issues, you see a lot of parties that are having great difficulty focusing on the North because there are so few seats up here, and that are really constrained by their party's whip. I don't think I'm going to win this race, but I do think that I can bring a bunch of issues to the table that other people aren't talking about. Now, as you said, I am fairly new to the North, but that in no way means that I don't have the ability to talk about these things. I might not have the experience, but I've certainly been able to befriend a number of people who do, and I'm looking forward to the debate, and I'd encourage your viewers to watch both the CBC debate on the 8th and the EDGE debate on the 13th, where we're actually going to get into the depths of these things.
Some would say you're a realist because you know it's a difficult uphill struggle for a Green Party candidate to be elected in any riding in Canada, frankly. So the question then becomes, John, why are you running? What is it that you hope to be able to change, and why exactly are you running for the Green Party in the federal election?
Well, John, I think a great example would be this morning seeing the Liberal candidate, Michael McLeod. He had made a promise earlier to raise the Northern deduction on your tax return by 50%. After a little bit, Ottawa told him today, actually you can't promise that. You can only go up by 33%. And Mr. McLeod since revised his position, and all the power to him on that. But nonetheless, with all three of the other major parties in this race, they're constrained by what's called their whip. They're constrained in terms of what they can do for the North by a Southern party's agenda and their platform. What's unique about the Green Party is that we have no voting whip. It's left up to me to define my own policy, and there are even things in Green Party policy which I explicitly disagree with. When you look at our position on nuclear power, that's something which I've registered with them. In fact, I think you're wrong on that. And I've since actually engaged a few nuclear physicists who I know, and we're developing a plan, a policy platform for the North specifically, looking indeed vastly in the future, but how can we get power into these small communities that are so far removed? And more than anything, that's what I hope to do, is give a voice to these communities that don't have a voice, and have someone who actually can represent them and doesn't have to go on a conference call with Ottawa first.
You've touched on a couple of issues there, John, and done so well in terms of important issues during this election campaign here in the North. Tell me a few more. Tell me what else is on your radar, please.
Well, we talked about energy policy just a second ago, and I think that in the long term, nuclear reactors, specifically lifter reactors, or maybe something like Hitachi's Prism, are a good view. In the short term, the Green Party and myself are looking more at more obviously renewable resources, like wind power. I think especially in places like Inuvik, where I'm from, you've got incredible wind resource. In other places in the North, you've got incredible geothermal resource, and pretty much everywhere you've got incredible photovoltaic resource. I think energy policy is something that is a huge piece that a lot of people are having difficulty tackling. Above and beyond that, I think Aboriginal issues, Aboriginals make up more than half of the NWT's population, and I think that that's an election issue which is not receiving the coverage it needs. The Green Party's for the Kelowna Accord. is for the UN mandate mandate on the Indigenous rights, and is for the Royal Inquest back in the 90s and TRC. These are all things that aren't getting coverage, but that need to get coverage.
John Moore, we appreciate you coming in today to talk to us and our viewers as well. We wish you the best of luck on the rest of the campaign trail as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. McFadden. It's been a pleasure.